Welcome to my beginner's guide to how to survive. I know it's not the best name, but I couldn't come up with a better one. So in this video, I want to talk about your defensive options. Now, different players have different playstyles. My playstyle is make a glass cannon, some character that can kill fast. And in my opinion, if you're a new player, don't focus too much on defenses and try to get stronger. And if the enemies are destroying you, just lower the difficulty. Don't try to bite more than you can chew. But still, there are defensive options in this game, and there are two main reasons to increase your defense. The first one is if you play on auto mode. Let me show you. Let's go to battles, skirmish, and let's see how the game plays on automatic. Now, the AI is really dumb. So playing on auto is always a gamble. Let's see what it does right now. Okay. As you can see, it's not the sharpest tool in the shed. And it's, yeah, really slow. Okay. It's struggling. Spend. Oof. Yeah, as you can see, it's really slow and not very optimized. And it doesn't cast half of the spells, and I'm dead. So yeah, this is the first reason to invest something on defenses. The auto mode is really dumb, but if you're playing the game on the side while you're at work, not that I'm encouraging that kind of behavior, you may want to invest in your defenses. The other reason is in skirmishes and dungeons, the maximum level of the enemies you will face is 100. In parties, if you're in a 4-player party, the maximum level of the final boss will be 115. However, if you go to events, right now there is today is the second day of the 3-day event Dungeon of Poison, and today the last enemy that I killed was level 150. That's why tomorrow the next enemy will be 152. I've been able to clear up to level 166 here in the 3-day event dungeon, and as well as the boss rush. But these events can go up to level 200. Against those enemies, you need some level of defense. In fact, a lot, because they hit like a truck. I don't know if I can check here the strength of the enemy. No, but for example, this spell for the level 152 enemy will deal 200,000 damage. So yeah, you need to invest some on your defenses. So when it comes to defenses, there are two things that you need to consider. The first one is damage reduction, and the second one is regeneration. So let's talk about the first one. Let's go to our stats here in the inventory. Scroll to the right, and here you can check the defense stats. There are 5 stats that you need to look at: block chance, block damage reduction, elite damage protection, melee resistance, and missile resistance. Each one of these stats can go up to 80%. That's it. Now, when it comes to block chance and block damage reduction, this depends on your shield and other attributes from other pieces of equipment, but I will make a dedicated video about how block works, so I don't want to go into too much detail. Elite damage protection reduces the damage from bosses, such as in a dungeon, the second and third enemy, the Kingdom Dragon, and obviously the boss rush in events. And when it comes to melee and missile resistances, roughly 90% of the enemies deal melee resistance with their base attack, and the other 10% deal damage that is missile. So melee is more important, but if you really want to go up and resist missile attacks, like for example, the last week, the boss rush was a missile attack, it's base attack, you will also need to invest in this. Okay. And how do you increase this? Well, again, for the shield, it's mainly your shield stats. It will depend on this number, this block number, and this goes up as you upgrade the quality, both the base quality and honing the piece of equipment. As you can see, this piece of equipment, this shield is fully honed. That's why it's plus 400 here. And when it comes to block chance, when you look here, you will see just the base block chance, in this case 72.61. This takes into consideration all bonuses that I have from all the different pieces of equipment. However, in battle, in this case, because this type of shield increases block chance plus 20%, so if we get into a fight, let me show you again. If you click on the top left, here you can see all your stats and all the opponent's stats. If you scroll down, you can see all the bonuses from your equipment, etc., your spells, blah, blah, blah. And here on defense, you can see block chance, 80%, plus 7.39. I have plus 20, but because 8% is the maximum amount, I cannot increase more than 80%. Now, as I said, I'm going to make a video explaining block in more detail, but if you're a new player, the best starting shield will be the guard's shield. Let me select it here. This is the guard's shield that adds 30% to block chance, decreasing by 1% every turn. This is the mythic one. If you have it at a lower quality, it decreases more per turn. But on turn 1, you will have plus 30% of whatever you have. The Shield of Anthrite is a great shield as well, but this is a very rare item that you can only get in caches with ancient coins, whilst the Guard Shield, you can easily find it or craft it. Now, regarding the other stats that I mentioned, elite damage protection, melee resistance, and missile resistance, there are a few equipment items that you can use. For example, this one is the Guard's Pauldron. Gain 4% melee protection when matching 5 or more gems in one match. Any color, it doesn't matter the item color, it's just 5 or more gems. Now, if you make 10 gems in just one chain, it doesn't proc twice. It procs just once. It takes is 5 or more. But if you make 5 gems in one corner and another 5 in another corner, it will proc twice in one turn. This is a good starting item that will increase your melee protection, but it takes a couple turns to really increase your defenses. And it's not good that you can survive a really hard hit on turn 10 if you die on turn 3, obviously. Another good item to start with against elite enemies is the Royal Armor. Let me show you right here the royal set. This specific armor. Gain 4% elite protection when matching a big gem. Just like the other one, but the other one increases the melee protection. This one is elite protection. So either one of these items are pretty good. But yeah, these numbers are passive. Try to increase them as much as you can. As you can see, I only have 25 melee resistance and 25 elite damage protection, but it's a start. When it comes to block chance and block damage reduction, both of them cap out at 80%. I have 72, but with this shield is 80 and 65% block damage reduction. Not the best, but not the worst. Now, let's talk about the second thing, which is how to restore or regenerate or recover. Now, before we talk about that, we need to talk about healing boost. Here I have 36.59% healing boost. So, every time I increase my armor or health or resistance, that number, that 36.59%, increases the amount that I regenerate. For example, let's say that I use this spell, Ice Armor. Okay, increase armor by 3,156. If I use this spell in battle, it will increase this number plus the 34% for the healing boost. Same if I use, for example, a ring to regenerate health, like the Serpentine Ouroboros, right here. Gain regeneration for 4 turns if you match 7 or more gems in one match. Regeneration increases, well, regenerates, it doesn't increase. There is a difference. It regenerates your health by, I think it's 10%, but that 10% is also modified by this number. I can't remember if it's 10% or 5%, something like that, but the important thing is that you remember this healing boost affects the amount that is regenerated. And the same if you increase your resistance. This number increases it. Now, here's the thing. There is no maximum cap for healing boost. You can get 30.4% healing boost on each piece of your equipment. For example, this one, this Night Amulet, has 18%. This can go up to 30.4%. Multiply that by 12, and you can find yourself with a 400% healing boost. But there is more. Let me show you the most broken item in the game, in my opinion, when it comes to regeneration. No, sorry, not Royal. It's Savior. Savior set, which is this Savior's Locket. Gain 5% healing boost when casting a spell. Any spell, any color. This includes your ultimate spell. So if you use 5 spells every turn, you're increasing your healing boost by 25% every turn. And as I said before, there is no maximum cap. Now, let me show you my mercenary. This is the first build I made. Right now is abandoned, almost. But I want to show you another pretty broken item. I mean, the thing that balances this item is the fact that it's only for green builds. Gain 12% of your starting armor when you cast a green spell. And yes, I'm also using the Savior's Locket. So let's go into a battle. I may die because This character, as I said, it was my first build, so it's not very strong, but let's see if I can survive here. And let me show you what happens when you put both items together. So let's start the fight. Just standard. Okay, now look at my armor, 19,180. So I'm gonna cast one spell, and I got 3,500. But because of the synergy between the two items, now I'm going to gain a little bit more, 5% more, 5% more. And let's combine this and 5% more. See, I started this round after his attack with just under 20,000, and I just gained 15,000. So not many more options here. End the turn. He's gonna attack me again. Okay, that was a critical hit. That really hurt. I almost died. But it's okay, because I can probably regenerate enough um, armor so I can survive the next one. Now, the reason why the Green Mercenary is so popular is this specific spell. I will make a video with this build. But this spell increases critical hit chance and critical hit damage bonus, and it also drains the enemy's mana. So you don't need to worry about the enemy spells because, bloop, goodbye mana. So, okay, okay. If he doesn't crit, I should be fine. And yeah, I just regenerated 18,000 armor. And as I said before, this build is far from strong. Okay, this is really basic equipment. He's going to attack. Yeah, I survived. And every turn that passes, due to the Savior's Locket, I'm regenerating more and more and more and more. I think you get the point. So, what other items can you use? There are many items that can boost your armor and health, but let me put you a few more examples. The next one is also some pants, and it's the Buccaneer. Write this one. Gain armor equal to your gold bonus divided by 10% of your starting armor when matching 6 or more gems. It's not obviously as strong as the Serpentine Pants, but it works with every color. Now, how do you increase your gold bonus? Well, you're probably using a Gasduli Helm, which gives you bonus gold. If you have a mythical one, it will be 25% bonus gold. You can also use the guard's belt, which increases your gold by 50% if you win in less than 15 turns. But if you don't win in 14 turns, you're not going to win, probably. So there are other items in the Buccaneer set that increase gold bonuses, but as you can see, you can get a pretty good armor there. But there are also other items in the guard's set that are pretty good. For example, the guard's armor. Gain 4% of your starting armor when matching 5 or more gems in one match. Again, any color. It doesn't matter which one you're using. Now, let's say that instead of armor, you want to increase resistance. Okay, let's go back to the Savior set and equip the pants. Gain 4% of your starting resistance when casting a spell. Again, like the amulet, any spell, any color, including your ultimate spell. And because this one is also part of the Savior set, together the amulet and the pants will give you 17% starting resistance. If you have it at mythic rarity, 20% starting resistance. Again, there are other items, but I don't want to make this video longer than it already is. Just search for those items that can help your build. Yeah, this is the one that I was wearing before. And as I said, these all these things can be combined, and you can get to a point where you can have a really, really tanky uh, build. And also with the spells that you use. Here I showed you this blue spell, Ice Armor. There is another blue spell. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's Deep Wave. Yeah, Deep Waves gain armor and resistance. Yeah, it's expensive. It's 190 mana, but this, with all the bonuses that you can get, gets really, really crazy. If you are playing a paladin, obviously you have a ton of healing spells. So, no, excuse me, no, not equip. Uh, like this one, heal life and cleanse negative status effects, etc. Personally, if you are going to invest in defense, the best thing is to invest in your armor, because your armor is going to be considerably higher than your health. And as you saw a few minutes ago, there is no cap on the amount of armor or the amount of resistance you can get. However, with your health, you're limited by your maximum health. When you're regenerating, you cannot regenerate more than your maximum health. Also, if you don't know how much health you have, is this heart icon. This is your vitality. Multiply vitality by 10, and that's your health. So in this case, my health is 1110. And that's it about defenses. As I said at the start, don't worry too much at the start. Yes, the guards set is, let me select it, is really, really good when you start. And as the name implies, I mean, it's guard. It will give you all the pieces here on this set. Okay, why? Oh, yeah, I had the pants. Sorry, selected. All the pieces in this set will give you, well, not all, but most of them will give you really, really good defensive bonuses. But as I said, there are different pieces that you can find by yourself. Or if you want to know about a specific piece, just let me know in the comments and I can create another video or expand this one. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next one.